Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on the podcast this evening. I hope that everybody is safe and healthy wherever you guys are in the world. See a few people already here waiting. Thanks for dropping by a little early. It's much appreciated. So for today's podcast, rather than having specific topics in mind, about once a month we like to just have kind of an open forum and just kind of let you guys lead the way as far as questions or topics or things that you guys want to specifically discuss. I think it's just a good way for us to cover some additional topics that we don't really always get into in detail on some of the more targeted podcasts. So I hope you guys are ready to take advantage of that. I do have Islander here waiting on me. Before I bring him here into the channel, though, just a quick reminder to drop by his channel. If you aren't yet a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe. There is a link to his channel in the video description and in the pinned comment here on the podcast. And we both are doing the giveaways this month, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for those videos. There should be 4 videos that are public right now, 2 on his channel and 2 on mine. So make sure you guys enter in for those giveaways, and the winners will be chosen at the end of the month. And we will be doing a podcast giveaway for atomizers here at the end of April as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel so you know when we do drop that giveaway live here on the podcast. But let me go ahead and bring Islander into the mix here, and we'll get things rolling. Hey, what's up, Eddie? How you doing today?
Doing good, Chief. Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Getting a little tired of the weather up here. Shoot, we had snow yesterday, and then today was nice and warm this morning, and now it's freezing cold again. So.
Yeah, I saw that on the news earlier. Yeah, y'all getting all that winter weather up there, and we just had a little bit of rain down here. It hasn't been much. We had a few decent-sized storms, but other than that, I mean, as soon as the storms are gone, God, the humidity, man, you can just feel that heat coming off the ground. It's disgusting. I just go back inside in the aircon, play War Robots.
Yeah, but then again, I guess I can't complain too much because I don't have an air conditioning bill just yet, so.
Nice.
That's a positive thing. We don't get real hot until probably late May, and it gets pretty warm out here. But we don't really have quite the humidity you do.
Yeah, this has actually been a very cool season for us, or a cool year so far. As far as, I mean, there's days that I don't even turn the aircon on in the house because it's just a nice 72, 76 degrees outside. Where normally by this time of year, we're already tapping up the 95 to 100 degree mark. So it's been rather fresh. So I've enjoyed it, but we know it's going to get hot before too long.
Yep, it is what it is. So any news down there on the virus front? You guys still locked up like everybody else?
Well, you know that I still go on patrol and I still work, and we have the stay-at-home order, and there'd be nights when I'm out on graveyard, and they gave us a ticket book, to go out there and cite people and stuff like that. But I'm not even pulling anybody over, Chief. I mean, you could fly by me at 100 miles an hour. Like, what the hell is that? Oh, well, let me get back to my McDonald. I'm not going to pull anybody over who's, just out driving around. I know people are frustrated. I know people are tired, just being cooped up, and they want to get out and get in their vehicle and drive around town in the middle of the night just to get out of the house for a little bit. Hey, man, so be it. They ain't bothering anybody. Not that I've ever been a big ticket writer in my career anyways. I think I've written 6 tickets in 18 years. So, I'm just not big on issuing out citations, much less for somebody who's just got cabin fever. Hell no.
Well, I heard that Texas was looking at opening some things up, so hopefully that starts going in the right direction and you guys open the door for the rest of the country, and then hopefully we open it up for the rest of the world to kind of open stuff up.
Yeah. They're going to do it in 3 phases, and I'm looking forward to some of those phases getting started. I, for myself, want to get the hell out of the house and get back to work. I've always been a workaholic, so this is all kind of new to me, staying at home a little bit more than normally. But they're going to open it up in 3 phases. Phase one is pretty much going to be testing the water. How is everything going to react? Are we going to get out there and start seeing cases rise up? Then they're going to shut it right back down. If there are no cases, or the cases do not increase dramatically, then we'll move to phase two. But the funny part to me was, a lot of things that they're talking about opening up. One that caught me kind of awe was the gym. Now, of course, a lot of us like to go to the gym, but one thing that's coming, not like a bunch of people in a building sweating and touching things. Of course, you can't pass a virus like that. That was the only one that kind of struck me out as one they would be opening up soon. Hell, man, open up a barbershop. That's what we need to open up. My hair is ridiculous.
Now, my wife's getting creative on that front. She's learning how to cut my little boy's hair. So, since she can't take him to the barber.
Yeah.
But looks like we've got a good question, I think, to open up with. BBX was asking, or saying, that he is planning on building a second hangar and he needs some fun robots to play. Any ideas? And well, I think that's a good question and I'm glad you asked it, but I don't know if you're gonna like my answer. My answer is don't do it. It costs 7,500 gold to open up a second hangar. And to be perfectly honest, it's just not worth the cost of doing it. The only thing it saves you is the minor inconvenience of moving your fun robots into your hangar, but either way, since you can no longer look around pre-battle to see who you're going against, it's not like you can really decide, hey, I got some randoms, let me go ahead and drop my fun hangar in. So you pretty much have to know ahead of time if you want to play with your fun hangar, and if that's the case, you might as well just save yourself 7,500 gold, or put that gold towards other upgrades or modules or pilot skills or something like that for your other fun robots. I think it'll get you a lot farther along, but also be careful that you aren't investing too much into secondary robots if your main hangar is not quite up to where you want it to be yet, because it's a little deceiving when you start a new robot or some new weapons. It looks like it's pretty cheap, but all those quick fast levels start to add up. What's your opinion on that?
I'm going to have to be with cheap on this one, partner, unless you already have a second hangar open, and that might be the case. Now, you've already opened up a second hangar and you're looking for some fun bots to play, then we can give you some recommendations. But if you do not have that second hangar already available, don't go drop 7,500 gold into a second hangar, because you're primarily going to be playing your primary hangar. If you want to play a fun hangar, then just go ahead and move the bots and weapons that you want to play as a fun hangar just to mess around. Move that into your primary hangar and just set that up. Now, if you already have it open and you just got to put bots to put in there and you want to have that second option, I got to go with the Pursuer. But I just got mine back into the lineup, and I just kind of tested the waters with it, and I've been having such a blast with it, being very competitive with it. I did not expect that at all. Of course, I still have a few problems with the lead pilot, so I'm learning new tactics to take on Al Junes, and I'm kind of watching them early in the fight to see when they're engaged with somebody else. Are they shooting down at the ground, or are they only level? So you got to see if they have a lead pilot. But the Pursuer, no doubt, is still a very fun bot, and I'm glad to have it back in my starting lineup.
Now, don't get me wrong, because I didn't really think about that, but didn't they offer some kind of discounted hangars recently? Like,
yeah, it was $1,000. I'm sorry, it could have been. It was 1,000 gold to open up additional hangars, and you got people that went and opened up all kinds of brand new hangars. They don't have everything in them, but they just took that advantage of that little discount. So he may already have an open second hangar there, Chief.
Yeah, that's true. So I didn't really think about that. But
if he does, what would be your recommendation for a fun bot?
Well, I don't really like to recommend a fun bot to somebody, because what I find fun, other people may not find fun. But instead, I would recommend, if you have a robot that you already know is fun, that you enjoy playing, but he may not be quite strong enough to make it into your main lineup any longer, but you miss playing him, put him in there, and run them in your fun lineup. Nothing wrong with that. So I mean, sometimes people forget that this is a game, and the whole purpose is not to be competitive, but to try and have a little bit of fun. So, just whatever it is that you enjoy, even if it's something like a Shock Train Spectre, even if people will hate you forever and ever and ever for running it, go ahead, throw it in your lineup and have a little bit of fun. Nothing wrong with it.
We got a question just underneath that one, Chief. How much do you think the Nodens will cost in platinum? Debating whether I should save up for it instead of a Ming or Arthur. We don't know. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be a high end Titan. Okay, so I would guess pretty much where we have the Ming. I'm hoping it doesn't cost more than what the Ming costs, but I'm guessing it's going to be a higher end, and you can pretty much establish that. Of the other two, the Ming and the Arthur, I would definitely go with the Arthur if you're going to give either of those two consideration. The Arthur is a tank of a bot. He's solid, he's thick. He does very well against the Mings, and there are already a lot of Mings out there. So I recommend the Nodens, but kind of keep an eye on that price. We'll know soon enough where it's going to be. But if you're not going to decide to take the Nodens, you want to take one of the other two, I recommend the Arthur. How about you, Chief?
That's a good question, and I've gotten that question a few times. Now, the Kid is, the cheapest Titan to purchase, which I don't know why you would purchase it, because they gave you one for free and it's not really worth having. But I don't really see them raising the platinum cost of the Nodens too much, if at all, above what the Ao Ming costs. Now, you're kind of going to have to decide for yourself what your playstyle is. If you like to brawl, go toe-to-toe with other Titans or other robots, then go with something like the Arthur. If you want to kind of camp, sit back, maybe look at the bigger investment of the Ao Ming and the 600-meter weapons. But I would caution you, if you do decide, okay, when people ask me the Arthur or Ao Ming, I usually say Arthur, and it's not just because I run an Arthur, it's because I really do feel that it is the strongest Titan. But also, with the release of the Nodens coming up, okay, Pixonic has got a track record of doing business a certain way. I don't deny that. I don't think any of you would deny some of their practices. And there's already a lot of people, myself including, calling for some kind of a nerf to the Titans, especially like the 600-meter energy Ao Ming, because it's just ridiculous. But if they don't sell enough Nodens off the bat, the first Titan that's going to get a nerf is going to be the Ao Ming. So just kind of keep that in mind. They already have confirmed that they are looking into it. And if Pixonic publicly admits to quote unquote looking into something, that means they're probably already working on some kind of a nerf. Otherwise, they would just deny it.
Either that or the Nodens will receive a buff shortly after. And we have seen that pattern in the past where something comes out, it's supposed to be the latest and greatest. It isn't quite what it was supposed to be. So, don't be surprised if they give it a buff. Kind of like what they did with the Titans when the Titans first came out and they were just getting wrecked by the standard bots. Okay, what was the next thing they did? They buffed them. Okay, so you can expect that with the Nodens if it's not where the expectations are for it. So either you look at a nerf of other particular Titans or a buff for that particular Titan.
Now, another reason why I would also recommend the Arthur is because, well, Titans are just expensive to level up, period. There's no way around that. They're just ridiculous expensive. And at level 1 or base level, for the Titans, the Arthur is the most complete package. I mean, he can hold his own fairly well, even without adding any levels to it. Along with that, no matter what Titan you do decide to go with, I highly recommend that you invest in the premium modules before you invest in upgrading your Titan or Titan weapons. And the reason for that is because the most OP thing with Titans is those new premium modules. And for 200 platinum per module, up to 4 modules, so that's only an 800 platinum investment, you can get 4 premium modules, and you can boost the crap out of your Titan and your damage much faster and much cheaper than you get from upgrading the Titan weapons or the Titan itself. And I just did this myself yesterday with my own Arthur. I had not spent any platinum other than when I bought the Arthur. So I had a couple thousand platinum saved up. I finally broke down, bought the new modules through like 10 levels on each one. And you get so much more of a boost. I think at level 10, each module is like a 13% boost, which is insane. That's far more damage and health than you're gonna get from clicking the, you know, the different upgrades on the Titan robot or the weapons. But anyway.
Okay.
That's my
next question. How good is the Ravana with cryogenics? The Ravana by itself is good in team play, is good in solo play. With cryos, it's very solid. I recommend it more with the shotguns right now. I have run it with the cryos, okay, but I like the burst of the shotgun, especially if you're going to be at point blank range, all right? You're going to get more pound for pound with the storm shotguns, okay? And when it goes into its little ability, all right, when it goes into its little phase shift, it's enough to generate 2 shots, okay? So if you use your double phase shift, you're almost going to get a full salvo ready to go again. And it is a powerful bot, but the bot itself is great. It's used in all high-level play right now. You got some guys that are running 3 Ravanas, and that's not so much for the fighting power as it is for its ability to hold a beacon, okay? It can hold a beacon for a long time while it's using all of the phase shift, and you know, with the abilities and the phase shift combined, it's just ridiculous. And it does pack a punch either way. So I like it, but I would recommend it more with the Storm. What do you think, Chief?
The Ravana, I think honestly, the Ravana, there's only 3 good weapon options. I think the first is the Storm, not only for the cheap upgrade cost, but also because of the outright just massive damage you can do with them. And then the second one would probably be the Atomizer, but you're looking at a whole lot of cost to get and level up 3 Atomizer. And then the third best option in my opinion is going to be the Cryos. Now that doesn't mean that other weapons don't work on it, but as far as how the Ravana works with it going into its ability, you want those really good burst weapons. And I think that those are your best 3 options, to be perfectly honest. I personally wouldn't consider any other weapon for a Ravana.
Yeah, if you already have the shotguns, I mean, you can still get the cryos, of course. I'm pretty sure you could use them on different setups. But if you have the old storms, you really don't need anything else, partner. You could use those resources on something else.
Yeah, I know. I've already got, you know, maxed out storms, and I'm just waiting for the Ravana. So that's my plan for sure. You don't even need to worry about having the shot grouping on them anymore, because it doesn't really help them. But let's see. Also keep in mind with the Ravana, it's going to be frustrating as hell when you first start learning to play with it, because it is very much a skill robot. If you don't have time practicing with it, don't be surprised if you just get wrecked, because it takes some practice and learning your timing and when to use your ability, when to use a phase shift, you know, when to unload your weapons, which I think is a good thing. We don't have enough skill robots in the game right now.
I got a question. Islander best weapon for the Arthur. God, you know what, partner? All three of them are good. Uh, the rockets are good. They have good splash damage for going up against another Arthur. The Dragoon weapons are good for taking on the Almings because you can shoot them, although they cannot hit you back. And the machine guns, who would have known they would be just as powerful as the other two. So it's all about your preference to play, whether you want, what do you like the best, okay? The Dragoon weapons have that quick burst, okay? But the sustainable damage, I think, comes from the machine gun. So it's all about your preference, okay? But all three weapons are good. AD, how you doing out there, partner?
What's up, AD?
What do you think, Chief? You run the Arthur.
Weapons on the Arthur? I mean, if you're a grinder, just stick with the machine guns. If you prefer brawling, stick with the machine guns. If you're looking for a specific counter because you run a lot of squads, you can go either way. You can either use the energy 600 meter weapons, and it's a really good counter to the energy Ao Mings, or you can go with the rockets and counter Arthurs. But I mean, I think honestly, there's a place for all three of the different weapons, and you could even change it up a little bit. I've seen some people be really successful running like the machine gun beta weapons and a SAR rocket alpha weapon on the Arthur, and it does really well.
Let's see here. Islander, are you still debating on getting the Nodens? As of right now, the debate is pretty much over, all right? I know they adjusted the numbers, they adjusted the cooldown. It all depends on what the final numbers are going to be. But I will be getting a Titan sometime in the very near future. I am stacked up on platinum right now. I even took that 50 million for 50 platinum, and I caught so much backlash on that. Oh my God, the backlash was ridiculous. Maybe I should have stated inside of that video, and I didn't even think about it, was if you have a ridiculous amount of silver in your bank, then it might be okay if platinum is your primary interest. My thoughts on that were, I'm trading an in-game currency for a valuable in-game currency, and I can go back and grind all this, all right? But if you're sitting at 60 million silver, okay, then a 50 million silver or platinum, it may not be worth it to you. It was worth it to me because I have such a large storage of silver right now, and I have no Titan. And my kid is sitting at level 3, so every little ounce of platinum I can get is going to be beneficial to me. So I took that deal. But then again, keep in mind that my storages now, if your storages are not big and you don't need the platinum, then no, don't do it. But that was something for everybody. But as of right now, Boss Lady, yeah, I am looking at getting the Nodens, but I want to see the final numbers before I make any decision. But I think it's going to be a solid overpower Titan. Well, you know what? Let's be honest. Which of the Titans is not overpowered, with the exception of the kid? So yes, right now I am looking at the Nodens.
Right, and the history should tell us that kind of Pixonic's original iteration of a robot or weapon on the test server is kind of telling you what they're really wanting to do with it on the live server. So if the first release is really strong, then no matter what the feedback is, it's probably going to be pretty damn strong when it comes to the live server. A little bit of tweaking here and there, but not much. If it's kind of weak, then they have a different plan for it. That's just kind of how it is. I foresee the Nodens coming out and being really strong, because if it was any weaker than a Ming, there's no reason for people that have spent a bunch of money on getting the Mings to spend more money to get the Nodens, So
we got a little bit of feedback here from AD, partner. There is an update with the Nodens. They reduced the suppression range to 500 meters, and the big change, plasma Ao Ming will still be the better. Okay, so that is the suppression will be at 500 meters, but the weapons that they have is still 600. I don't know. It's still tempting, even with a suppression of 500 meters. I'm good with that. I don't think that they should be able to suppress any bot at 600 meters. They cannot suppress you, but they have a constant healing ability inside of them. Plus, they can pull health from other robots as they link onto them to heal them. So I think it's still going to be good, even with 500 meters. I'm down. I'm down with the 500 meters. I think that's actually a good thing, that we're not going to be suppressing people 600 meters across the field. Whether it be another Titan or whether it be a standard bot.
Well, and you also have to remember there's a 75-meter radius to the suppression, so you only have to target and hit somebody that's 500 meters away, and you'll actually suppress somebody that's 575 meters away. But you're right. There is some new 600-meter weapons coming out to the game, and if I had to choose between a Ming and a Nodens to battle it out at 600 meters, I would take the Nodens because he can heal faster. He's got 3 different heals that he can throw up at once. So yeah, I would definitely take the Nodens, even though the Ming technically should have a little higher firepower. But we all know that an Ao Ming in the air really doesn't have too much defense. So other than his kind of heal, but that heal doesn't come up very often. So, you mentioned that platinum deal.
I'll close the gap within, but we can close the gap of 100 meters very, very quickly.
Right.
Now, keep in mind, this is not going to be so much the brawling bot as it should be the support bot. So, how I would play mine would be pretty close to right in between the frontline the frontline Arthurs and the backdoor Mings, and I would probably be right in between, just hitting all 3 of them and shooting my 600-meter gun to try to take their Titans out of the air. This is going to be a good counter for the Titans, but remember, both teams will probably have them, so it's going to be all about how the teams play them out.
Right. Now, I did want to quickly touch back on that whole platinum for silver deal you brought up, because I know I kind of was one of those that gave you a little bit of grief for doing it.
You weren't the only one, Chief. It was a whole bunch of people.
Well, it wasn't so much that they had the offer, because I think that just the fact that they're offering platinum in other ways is a positive thing. But the way they kind of went about it seemed a little shady to me, because they don't know what a comma is, first of all, and then the font size that they used on that particular deal was a little bit smaller than what they have in all of the other deals. So it was almost misleading, because I almost bought it myself, because I looked at it and I was like, oh, 5 million silver, that's not bad, but then I stopped and I looked a little closer and tried to count the zeros. I couldn't really keep track of the zeros, so I took a screenshot, and then I could actually draw on the zeros to count them, and I was like, 50 million? What are you guys, smoking crack? There's no way. And I know that they frequently have sales and gold deals and silver sales and things like that, but as far as base value that they associate to silver and platinum, and silver and gold, is kind of crazy, because 50 million silver, if you were to use the standard cost and not use the sale price, but the standard cost is 18,000 gold. You can't buy silver in the game aside from the daily deals for cash. You can only buy it with gold, and it costs 18,000 gold to purchase 50 million silver. Now, if you go and you look at the gold tab, the standardized cost for gold it would be like $140 to get 18,000 gold. So essentially, they are putting a value for 50 platinum. They're wanting you to give them 140 worth of resources for 50 platinum that you could just buy for $10. That was my problem with it. Not the fact that they offered it, but the fact that it looked kind of shady because it was difficult to read. And then the price just was so far out there when you look at the base cost of the resources they're asking you to trade in. So that was the problem that I had with it. But, like you said, if you've got tons of silver laying around, nothing to spend it on, then shoot, do it all day long. But for me, especially on a silver upgrade weekend, oh man, the timing on it couldn't have been worse either.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that when it was all said and done, that I could stay with about 2 billion silver and continue my upgrade and still have that much silver left over, which is where I'm at. So I was able to meet my mark, and that's just to get ready for what we have coming up in the very near future, which is going to be the nucleons and the porkers. So those are interesting weapons. I'm kind of picturing those quirkers on my pursuer and really liking what I see, giving me that 500-meter range, kind of what I had before with the halos, and with what seems to be nerfed to the Aljun. It's going to be a lot easier for me to counter the Aljuns with the pursuer. And my mind just constantly runs with this pursuer robot because it's the robot that I have the most fun in the game with. All right, it hasn't been anything else since that bot came out. But that's what we got coming down the pipe, and I would like to have, by the time we get around to the next update, or not the next update, by the time we get to the next overdrive, I would like to be at about 3 billion again, so I could try to do this and try to always keep a bank of 2 billion, because we all know once you get down to 0 silver, it is a long road back to try and fill your bank again.
Yes, it is. Let's see, that kind of, you're talking about having fun with the pursuer and whatnot, and that kind of goes along with a question that Josh Castle was asking. He says, what about the Cerberus? Is it worth upgrading? Serious doubts against it, he said. Now, I'll tell you what, the Cerberus, it's not like the premium meta bot, but it's very fun to play. And it's not bad. It's not like the first community robot, the Bolt, which just sucked for everybody. Even at Gold League, it just kind of sucked. The Cerberus can hold its own. Yes, you need to throw some levels on it for it to really work. But man, it's just a fun robot, and that's what you need to focus on. It may not be the strongest robot on the field, but if you're having fun with it, who cares? So that's
he's right on that. I went up against a maxed out one, and I was, of course, I'm used to going up against the Cerberus that have no last stands. You shoot them a little bit, and they fold like tissue paper, and that's kind of what I was expecting from the Cerberus. I went out and charged one, okay, and I'm assuming, Chief, I'm guessing he had 3 fortifiers on it. He had to have had 3 fortifiers on it.
You can only have 2. He only has 2 slots.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Then he had two fortifiers on it.
If he had a last stand, that means he could have only had 1.
I could not break that shield for the life of me. And, he suppressed me, froze me, and just lit me up. And I was very cautious the next time I came across that particular Cerberus. So I was like, damn, he stacked it up. I'm not sure what pilot he had on it and what pilot skills, but it was a pretty somewhat competitive bot. Now, once I kind of figured out what he was doing or what he had set up, then I quickly came up with counters for it. But that initial engagement caught me off guard, and it was pretty interesting. So if you deck it out and you put the fortifiers on it, I think you could probably be pretty competitive. I wouldn't necessarily take it into a squad team play, okay, but for just going out there free for all, messing around, doing solos, stuff like that, maybe duels, I think it would be a good setup if you want to invest in it. Why not?
And to be honest, a max Cerberus, that Aegis shield is just ridiculous, even without a fortifier on it. But you put 1 fortifier on it and a last stand, and you're going to be tough to bring down. It's probably the fastest regenerating Aegis shield in the game. and it can save you from quite a lot of damage. So, but the biggest thing is
I was not
it's
expecting
fun.
that. I looked at him. I saw where it has no last stand. I said, it's a victim. Shit.
And it's
Turned
got
the table real
firepower on
quick
it
on me on
too.
that one, boy. He had me running for dear life.
I mean, with a heavy and 2 mediums, it's no joke as far as firepower.
Yeah, no, it has the firepower.
Let's see, Luke's had a question for you. Who's faster, Ao Ming, and he has plasma weapons. It's going to be dangerous. I'm not sure of the question he's asking, so maybe I misread that. He said Islander Gaming. The question is, who's faster? If Ao Ming and something has plasma weapons, it's going to be dangerous. Maybe you can clarify that question.
Luke, do me a favor, Luke. Re-ask your question again. Maybe there's just a little misunderstanding from the way we're reading it to the way you meant it. Say that question again, buddy.
I'm a little behind on the chat too, so.
Yeah, so I'm kind of scrolling up, just going through the questions. So those of y'all that are typing at the very bottom, we're still somewhere in between, guys. So just bear with us. We will get to your question.
Oh, and Chief6177, thank you for the $2 donation. Much appreciated.
80 Gaming, Cyclone Cataclysm on an Arthur is going to be a beast. Yes, sir, AD, it is. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with, man. Because you can hit other people, but other people can't hit you. The only counter right there in the Nodens is that I can pull, or that we can pull hit points from other bots as we're leached onto them, okay? And then we can suppress you. Now, quick question, AD, please answer this for me because I did not play the test on this weekend. When you suppress an Arthur, does it suppress through his shield?
Does it suppress through whose shield?
The Arthur.
No. Suppression.
I know when you shoot an Arthur with suppression, it doesn't suppress it, does it?
No.
If you have your shields closed?
No. If you hit the shield straight on, then the suppression does not go through because all suppression, at least as of right now, is energy based. So it gets blocked by the shield. But if you get an upward angle and you can, it doesn't take much to get above the Arthur shield, then you can suppress him that way. Or slightly to the side, you can get a suppression shot in on him.
Okay. I'm just kind of curious about the Nodens. If it goes through the Arthur shield, I know the other ones don't. I'm just curious about the Nodens.
I'm pretty sure the Nodens doesn't. But I could be wrong because the Nodens is also different because it doesn't shoot.
I was not.
Well, the Nodens is slightly different because the Nodens suppression is not like a projectile. It's not an energy or a bullet or anything. It just is like a magic thing that just, boom, you're suppressed. So it actually might go past the Arthur shield in that case.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to find out from AD. If he did play it, and if he has a test server, can you go back and check it if you're not sure? I just don't feel like downloading it today and getting on a test server. I've been using all my spare time to play and grind for silver and try to get these upgrades as quick as possible. It is 25% discount weekend.
Let's see. Chief6177 is asking, what's a good replacement for Avenger on the Ao June? Well, honestly, if you already have stuff leveled up, I would say something like Redeemers or Vipers, but those cost quite a bit to level up. You might even have some success with like Calamities, but if you don't have stuff already leveled up, just roll with the Avengers. I mean, yeah, they're not putting out as much damage and they are not as accurate as they were, but you're still going to be able to kill stuff with them. So, and the cost of upgrading an Avenger is so small compared to all of the other weapons. It might just be worth running them for a little while, maybe while you are looking for another weapon. What do you think? Are you going to pull or do you recommend pulling Avengers?
Yeah, I mean, the Avengers are still going to be good. They're just increasing. Basically, the shot grouping that it has, that's been kind of being taken away with what they got going on. But you still have the shot grouping on it, so it's still a decent weapon. It has a slightly bit slower fire rate, so you're not. I don't think you're really gonna notice very much difference in it, from what you're using right now. But if you are looking for some type of change, now keep in mind before you start going and getting new weapons for your June is about to take a nerf as well. Okay, it's gonna be a lot slower in the air. So if you were gonna run anything, I would be looking for 600-meter weapons, just because of the speed. And I would say you'd be safe with the Vipers or the Calamities.
Redeemer is a very, very deadly build, but
very, very.
You have to
on a slower robot now. I'm just not sure, but
it might actually do better on a slower Aljun, because the biggest problem that people have with it is the aim. You have to have really good aim with the Redeemers, but on a fast-moving robot, it's kind of hard to keep your aim. Slower-moving robot, it's not quite as hard.
Yeah, the Redeemers have one of the best knockout punches I've seen. I mean, you could almost take down a full bot with one salvo. So,
that's
an option.
I don't focus on an Aljun that's got Vipers or Avengers or Calamities or anything else. But if I see an Aljun on the field with Redeemers, that's my next target. Just because they could be devastating. And even if he's not coming after me, he could easily mech out my team.
Yeah.
See a few people throwing their recommendation behind the Cerberus with the right pilot skills and the right pilot or commander, as AD was saying, could be a lot of fun and pretty viable. And I totally agree with that. Yeah, and Mixfant was saying that the suppression on the Nodens will suppress, and it doesn't even require line of sight. It will suppress through obstacles. Now, I know from my own testing that's true. You don't need line of sight. That's why I'm saying it's just magic.
Right.
Across the map, you can just tap on somebody and they're magically suppressed.
It's like a leech ability. It goes through everything. American Monster Islander 3 last stand. Yeah, that was yesterday's video. No, actually, it was 2 last stands, brother. It was not 3. Military blunder on my part.
That's Big Al. Big Al's, well, let me say his full name. Big Al, and I hit no dingers, said, I run Pursuer Magnum because I'm broke, but did win a last stand from the last event, so he's happy. So congratulations on winning the last stand. I know what it's like.
Yeah, man. Throw that on your Pursuer. You'll have a blast with it.
I've actually been seeing a lot more people lately, even in Champion League, running Magnums. Surprising. I've seen them on blitzes. I've been seeing them on pursuers. I've actually been seeing more pursuers as of recently, which I think is great. It's a really fun robot, and I would like to see more people, kind of diversifying things like that. I don't care if a weapon is not super strong. If you have fun playing it, just play the damn thing.
Yep. I agree. I mean, the only good thing about Magnums is you don't ever have to reload. You can just hold that button down. So, I mean, they may know something we don't.
Let's see. Hagara's Latinos asked, "How about the Invaders nerf? Is it going to be as bad?" Oh man, I just shifted up. Let me find it. Oh.
Yeah, shifted up.
Is it
shifted up because a donation came in. Thank you very, Ernie, for your 5 bones, brother. Greatly appreciate it.
Said, is it going to be
any news on the next operations? Hoping for some more platinum. We'll get to that in just a minute, Ernie. Absolutely. I was just about to read another question.
Anyway, yeah, he said
I
that
lost the question.
he was asking if the Invaders nerf is going to be bad enough
Oh
to
yeah.
ditch the robot. Um, did I miss something? I don't recall an Invader
What,
nerf.
what I was about to ask you, what Invader nerf? Invaders are not getting a nerf.
Yeah.
They are pretty much safe where they're at right now. Whatever adjustments have been made to them have already been made. If you're running an Invader, it is still a very beastly bot, very, very thick bot. It's right up there with the Falcon. It's right up there with that other Viking bot, the Fenrir. Fenrirs are beast bots. I mean, they're really, really hard to bring down now. If you got them decked out the right way with the new Santa Claus pilot, it is a solid build. So as far as what the Invader nerf, I don't know, partner. You know more than we do. You let us know on that. As far as Ernie's question, any news on the next operation? Hoping for some more platinum. Ernie, I am with you, man. I love the operations that we just had because as of right now, platinum is my primary target in the game. You know, as far as the resources, it's what I need the most of. I kind of blew right through the operations. I killed it within like 2.5 days max. Hell, I mean, I think I was on asking Chief if he wasn't going to eat his. You know, can I have his plate because I just that platinum was very well priced. And I would like to see more platinum come in the operations. And I'll be honest with you guys, I think we're gonna, from what we're gathering right now, the little operations, you know, even the ridiculous deal that I was foolish enough to take, we can start seeing other forms of platinum making its way in the game. I would like to see it. I would like to see it come to the black market or the super chest somewhere in there. I think we should have an option to get our hands on some platinum. There should be other spots that we can get it from, and I think that's getting ready to come into the game. I think whatever platinum they made on the early on, as far as from the Titans, they kind of cashed in on that cow right now. And what they're going to try to do is tempt people into using or giving people a little bit more platinum and kind of tempt them into, well, you know what? Yeah, I got my Titan up to level 20. Let me go and invest a little bit, and that might be the strategy that they're going after right now. My strategy is still the same with the Titans. You know, try and get it from wherever I can, as easy as I can, without using a credit card debit exchange, you know, to the very end. But I don't know. I just went on and on and on and on. I hope we see more platinum in the operations as well, Ernie.
Well, we haven't.
Sorry, I didn't monopolize all that.
Well, no, but I'm glad you brought up the current operation because we haven't even really mentioned it yet. Or
Nope.
the fact that they gave us an extra week of the event. Neither of those were planned. I think what actually happened is they have some big thing going on. They haven't told us what it is yet, but they keep telling us that there's something big coming, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the anniversary and the anniversary event. As most of you guys know, the actual anniversary has already passed. I think it was last week when they actually hit the 6-year anniversary for War Robots. But for whatever reason, there's something going on with the next event and the next operations that kind of delayed some things. So I think that's why they just threw it in there and gave us a little quick 20-day, rehash of a previous operation we already had, which personally I think is great because it did two things. One, they put platinum in there, which is great for everybody, even if you don't drop the $15 for the gold pass. And two, it gives people another chance to get the special edition tier. And a couple of those special edition pulsars if you missed out on them on the previous operation, because you got to remember, before it was level 100 before you could get the ancient tier, and now it's at like level 19 or something crazy stupid low, and it's real easy to burn through these levels right now. I think Islander finished the entire operation in 2 days, so I think that's great. I think there's a lot of people that were thinking that they're just kind of testing the field to see if they can, shove shorter operations down our throat and still charge the same amount of money. I don't think that's what it is. I think they just kind of put themselves in a bind and didn't want to wait a whole month before being able to release some new content with the anniversary event. And that's the same thing with extending out the current event an extra week for everybody. I think, an extra week of just getting free tokens. Why not? I mean, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and as far as what Chief was saying right now, we are expecting some very big news from Pixonic. Some very, very top secret big info. We can't even give you all a hint to what that is because we really just don't know yet. But we have something big coming from the developers, and hopefully it's something good for the players. I mean, everything up to now has been great for the developers, not as great for the players. So we're kind of hoping that we'll get the scale tilted just a little bit in the direction of our way.
Oh, but yeah, to give my own opinion on the to Ernie on the do I think there's going to be more platinum in the next operation? Definitely. I think they opened the door now for new ways of getting platinum to us. So I don't really foresee that ending anytime soon. So I think that's overall a good thing for most people. And Islander might be 100% right in the fact that maybe they milked the cow already as much as they thought they would be able to with the big spenders, and now they're going to try and get everybody used to spending a little bit of platinum so that they might be a little more willing to just drop that pocket change to pick up a little extra here and there. We'll have to wait and see, though, to see how it ultimately turns out. Ryan, aka D's Nuts, says I've been running into stalkers with magnums. Don't know why. You know what, Ryan? I've noticed a huge influx of stalkers in Champion League myself, and for the most part, I can attribute most of them to tankers. So, I think even the tankers are upgrading nowadays, and they're not running Cossacks anymore. They've upgraded to stalkers. Although tanking has actually been getting pretty brutal.
Out there, it's pretty much a tanker trying to work his way down into Master League.
Oh, another thing with, I think we may have mentioned it already, but next operation, I expect to see the limited edition Blitz, and I'm super excited for that because Blitz is one of my favorite robots ever.
Yeah, Blitz and Storms. Now, somebody was floating around on social media somewhere that they were going to have a little bit higher of a punch as far as the impact. I'm not sure how effective that would be. It's not really the rate of impact that they have. It's more of the reloading time that has affected those weapons. So they would need to receive some kind of buff on the reloading time to make those weapons viable again. If not, you're not going to see them on too many builds other than people that just don't have other options for them.
You're talking about Storms?
Storms, yes. I mean, not Storms, Gusts.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've been running 1 Storm and 2 Gusts on my my Phantom, and I get godlikes frequently.
Yes.
But it's really limited. The same with all shotguns pretty much now. You got to have a quick bot that can get in, dump them, and get out. The Blitz
on a Phantom, yes, that they would be very viable. I will not argue that point with you at all. On the Ravana, the Storms are very viable, but as far as use on just your other bots out there, the only one I've seen it on also that's still somewhat effective is the Leech, and that's just because he has the resistance.
Right. Well, I mean, I love my Blitz, but it's not in my hangar right now because I used to run mainly Gust on them just because they were very effective and I had a lot of fun with them. But I don't think the Blitz has the health to cover him not being able to kind of evade fast enough when going into an engagement using Gusts. So that's why he's sitting on the sidelines for me right now. That and there's really not a whole lot of light weapons that are really good in the game right now. So
just the rhymes, and if you put rhymes on it,
it's sick,
you will quickly rejuvenate that robot.
Yeah, but you got to have 4 rhymes, and you got to level them up, and that's a lot.
Yeah, the problem.
Which is something that I wish Pixonic would address, because come on, why does a rhyme cost the same amount of silver and time to max out as a glacier? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's a kind of scary thought as we're coming into these new metas. You know, that our light weapons are costing the same as our medium weapons. I don't see the Quaker or Quaker being any different. You know, as far as that's concerned, I think it's going to be an expensive weapon to level up as well.
Yeah, the Quaker, as you call them, is going to be
Quaker, the Quaker. I'm always the Quaker. Tomato.
Yeah, it's no, it's I don't know. I think they need to kind of maybe take another look at that, because if the weapon isn't doing the same amount of output, then it shouldn't cost the same amount to upgrade. But I don't know. I don't get paid to do the video game developing, so.
Let's see, we're here. Chap crates are easier to get now. Yes, they are. They are a lot easier to get, and that is a good thing. So let's. That was one of the changes that did come in the most recent update. Was they reduced the amount of honor points it took to get to champion crate, and it's no longer 650. I think it's like 585 now, and they are obtained a lot easier, and that's a big plus. Yeah,
well, I think there's 2 sides to that, though. I think if you are typically in the top 2 or 3 in a match, it's shorter to get to. But if you're more that mid to low range player, I think it's just as far. Even though they did lower it from 650 to 585, they also decreased the overall amount of honor that especially the mid to low level players are earning per match. So that kind of was counterproductive. But I do agree with Islander that, you know, it is much shorter. Like, at least for me, it does feel shorter to get there, but I'm usually number 1 or 2 in a match. So, you know, I'm still earning a lot of honor.
Can you imagine if they would lower the honor, Chief, but not lower the amount to get to the champion crate? It would have taken forever and a day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it would have been horrible if they would have lowered the amount of honor that we were receiving in a match, but kept the amount of honor points to get to that 650. I mean, you would just never get there. I mean, you would see more takers in the game than you ever seen before dropping down to masters. Momo, it's 2 a.m. Shout out, guys. I guess he's going to go to sleep. All right, Momo, thanks for swinging by, brother.
Yep, much appreciated.
Let's see, Torcane, but how much will the next Titan cost? We don't know that, Torcane. I mean, it's up in the air right now. We're guessing it's going to be the same, and we kind of covered this already, but we're guessing it's going to be the same amount as the Almin. Hopefully, it will not exceed that. I don't think that would be a good thing if it exceeded it.
See, Sahi was saying something about, I think he was saying Storm's Halo are still effective on Nightingale, and that is actually another build that's not too bad for shotguns still. It's not like the best for Nightingale. I think the best build for Nightingale is probably tied between Full Cryo or Atomizer and Shredder, but if you don't have either of those, shotguns are still pretty viable on it, just because, especially if you have the Nightingale Pilot, because that Nightingale Pilot makes a world of difference in getting your ability back pretty quick.
Yeah, I actually picked up quite a few of those Nightingale Pilots. I think I got like 5 or 6 of them, And I was on comms last night on Discord with the guys from GOTS, and there were some guys there talking that I think one guy had spent like $100, $150 trying to get the Nightingale pilot and never got it. I was like, sheesh. You know, I hardly spent any money on this event. I spent very low until the very, very end where I bought that one you were complaining about, the 47% off where it wasn't even 50.
Right.
You know, that's where, and I got several of those pilots over and over again. So kind of odd how some people get them, some people don't.
Well, I already had one from early in the event, and then the last day of the event, well, the first last day of the event, I, against my better judgment, decided I would go ahead and give it one more shot to try and get myself an atomizer or another cryo, and bought me some tokens, and I literally got 4 of those pilots. Like 3 of them were back to back.
Wow.
It sucked. I was not happy.
Yeah. And then you have like my buddy over there at GOTS, just who spent $100 trying to get one and couldn't get it. You know? That's just ridiculous.
Liam Fernandez was asking if I saw the new legendary pilot for the Blitz. I've seen the pilot, but I have not yet seen what the proposed ability is going to be on the Blitz. Or maybe I have and I forgot. I got real bad memory, so. But as of the time of me speaking, I have no idea what his actual ability is, so. But I do like the fact that they are boosting up the Blitz's health a bit.
Ironhide is asking, will the next operations be shorter than they did this 20-day event? No, the next operation should be pretty much the same as what we've had in the past. This little operation that we had was just like a little mini operation to, I guess, say sorry about the delay in time. So they kind of threw that out there. That they named it, was it Gathering Storm again, or whatever they named it. So it was really not an operation that we just had. It was just something that they just threw at us. And it was all majority economy, not so much weapons and bots. But you can expect that the next one will probably have 100 levels like the ones in the past.
Aditya was asking, do we think that they will buff shotguns in the future? To be perfectly honest, I can actually see them buffing them up a little bit more because, I mean, the nerf was really dramatic and it caused most people to just get rid of them, even if they were maxed out. I mean, most people literally just pulled them right off of their robots. So if they are following their data like they say they do, I can definitely see them getting at least some kind of a buff. And it wouldn't be like a new precedence that they're setting because they've done it before where, you know, they nerf something multiple times and then they give it a little bit of a buff later on. It just takes a while. That's also another reason why you should never sell anything that you've invested any kind of resources in. Let's see. Oh, Liam was saying the buff to the Blitz, they changed the ability of the Aegis shield to be similar defense as the leech.
Yeah, they're going to make it pretty much a mini leech, is what I've heard.
That'd be all right.
That's what I've heard.
Since his shield was always kind of worthless to begin with. But does that mean he's not going to have suppression
you'll have
anymore?
90% resistance.
But does that mean he's not going to have his suppression anymore? That's my
No, he's going to have the suppression. What he's not going to have, either you get the Aegis shield or you get the 90% damage reduction like the leech.
Because
as soon as you mentioned that just refreshed my memory on that.
Because if they let him keep his suppression, so he suppresses somebody and he gets a 90% damage reduction, and he suppresses them for, I don't know what his suppression is, like 35, 40, 50% suppression, whatever it is, right? I mean, are people literally only going to be doing like 5% damage to you?
Pretty much, from what I'm gathering, Chief, that's what the new
Man,
pilot ability is.
that's gonna be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, if you have my blitz is not maxed out, but I'll tell you what, he probably might get about maxed out pretty quick.
Yeah, he might go back into my my hangar even with some weak ass weapons.
Let's see here, Ernie, what would you buy first, Nodens or a new Cyclone for the Titan? I have 2,000 platinum. It depends on what you have right now in your hangar, Ernie. I mean, if you already have a decent Titan, you know, then you might want to go ahead and get the weapons, and then you can work on getting the Nodens later, versus the other way around. Because I tested all 4 weapons. I tested them out on the last test server, and you know, I was not really impressed with the rockets on them, or the Dragoon style weapons. The machine gun and the new weapons were pretty tight. Okay, so I mean, if you can put Cyclones on your Titan right now and not skip a beat, then you can save a platinum for the Nodens later on. But you know, before you make any kind of decision, I would wait till the Nodens drop. All right, let those of us that have the battle record counts go out there and test them for you, and then you can see what's really gonna happen with that bot. You know, is it gonna be the beast that we all think it is, or is this going to be completely worthless where you would have wasted platinum? So we need to test it out, get the proof in the pudding before we go out there and make any kind of decision. So hold on for the time being, hold on to your 2,000 platinum and keep making it a little bit thicker.
I would recommend just hold on to it, and I would give you a slightly different opinion than Islander. I would not buy the weapons before the Nodens if you do in fact plan on getting the Nodens. I would wait for now just to see what the Nodens is actually going to release as, but with 2,000 platinum, that's not going to be enough for you to get 4 Cyclones. You got to remember that each Titan weapon, you're looking at probably at least 700 platinum to buy each one, and you need 4. So you're not even going to have enough. And you know, you could just wait. If the Nodens is going to be a good robot, then you're better off spending the, you know, maybe 900 or 1,000 platinum maximum to buy yourself a Nodens that comes with, you know, basic level weapons. It's going to be machine guns, but I'm guessing that even a low level Nodens is going to be fairly serviceable in a match. You know, whereas, I mean, at most you could buy maybe 2 Cyclone, and then you're going to be sitting there with, you know, level 1 Cyclones on your existing Titan, trying to save up platinum for a Nodens, and then that's just going to take you even longer, you know what I mean, before you can do anything. That's just kind of a different angle, I guess.
So there you go, Ernie. You have 2 different opinions. You got to make your decision. As of right now, I would just say hold on to your platinum until we see what's what.
Yeah, because it could take a while to earn some platinum. But hopefully we'll start earning some platinum a little bit faster, though, now that they are kind of loosening that up a bit.
Yusuf Gaming, hey Chief Islander, they are going to increase battle time when arrive Nodens to ability to heal itself and others also. I don't think they're going to increase the amount of time to a game. I think we're still stuck at the 10-minute mark. We haven't seen any type of time increase as far as the game. Now, if you're talking about the game being longer than 10 minutes, I don't think so. If you're talking about the time that it takes for a Noden or a Titan to drop in the game, that's already been in discussion for some time. So I'm not sure what your question is there, Yusuf. Yusuf, are we referring to the amount of time it takes to drop a Titan? Because that was already supposed to be increased, and I still see people dropping their Titans, after 4 or 5 kills or a couple of beacons captured into the game. So they're in the game within 2.5 to 3 minutes, somewhere in there, really, really fast. So hopefully they extend it. I would like to see a minimum time frame before Titans could actually drop onto the field. Or, I would actually like to see it made to where it would be your mandatory last bot to drop. But that's just my opinion, okay? But either way, hopefully that they do something. If that was your question.
Yeah, I was talking to Adrian a little bit about that. I personally have not noticed a single bit of difference in the amount of time it takes to drop a Titan in a game. He swears that it's a noticeable difference, that he notices it, especially over the last week. Maybe I missed something, or maybe I have a special version of the game, but even when I'm not even trying, I can unlock my Titan on my first robot almost every single match in about 2 minutes or less. So maybe I missed something. I don't know. What do you guys say? Other than, yes, it's still too easy to drop them, but most matches I'm in, it's pretty common to see a Titan dropping within the first 2.5, 3 minutes of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, real quick, before we go any further, if this content and these podcasts are something you like, do us a favor. Go over to that little thumbs up and do hit that little thumbs up button. We got 81 people watching with 9 likes. Do us a favor, slap on that little like button right there if this content and these podcasts are something that you do enjoy. It really does help us out, and it does boost the rating for the podcast. We would greatly appreciate it. And if any time in the podcast you decide you don't like it, well, you just go take your little thumbs off. How about that?
You can take it back. It's okay. Let's see. BBX was asking. They're doing the cryo giveaway, or the special task, I guess, is what it is in the game right now. But do you think it would help if you hit the workshop at the same time? Do I think that they will be the next nerf? No, I do not think that cryos will be nerfed anytime in the next 6 to 9 months. Even with the new energy machine guns coming out, I don't foresee them nerfing the cryos. They're just too new. They don't like to nerf new stuff. But I think it's probably a really good idea to actually hit up the workshop, since you can actually build the cryo weapons in there, and do it in conjunction with the task, the daily task, because you're gonna get, like, if you get the daily task every single day, you're gonna get something like 12,000 components, which is enough for more than one. So if you're building them at the same time, you might actually be able to get close to 2 in that 20 days. So I think it's definitely a good idea, as long as you have enough silver to support it. If you're trying to save silver for other things, then maybe don't do that. But it is definitely efficient to utilize the workshop to build you some new cryos.
American Monster says, just wait till we can use 2 Titans in a game. No. Hell no.
Jay Moynihan is asking or saying that he's a player without any Mark II weapons, but lots of good robots. What one weapon should you push into that range of quality? I guess you're asking what weapon would we recommend you taking to Mark II. Well, if you're going to, or you're considering going to Mark II with anything, if you have them at level 12, right now is probably the best time to do it, because with the discount weekend, that also applies to the gold cost of going to Mark II. Instead of 500 gold per item, it's 375. So it is a fairly significant gold saving to make that jump. But really, look at whatever weapon you get the most use out of in your hangar. I don't know what league you're in, or what your play style is, or what weapons you have, but generally speaking, try to focus on the weapons that you have on the field the longest and net you the most damage, because that, even though they did change the silver payout to be honor based, the biggest honor income is still damage done to bots and shields. So it's still a good investment to focus on your weapons, and definitely focus on your highest output weapon that you currently have.
Yeah, and you might want to look for weapons that are safe at the moment. Maybe some of the newer weapons, if you have the cryos, if you have the atomizers, are weapons that have been around for quite some time, and that have neither been buffed nor nerfed. Something like the scourges have taken neither a buff or nerf in a very long time. So those are pretty much what we call the safe weapons at the moment. You would want to look for something that you're not going to invest in just to see it have a nerf in the very near future. So just keep in mind on that.
Let's see, Joe Cruz shared his opinion on something, and it's a little different than I think what you and I, and maybe even most people, would probably view. He says that limiting when Titans can drop is a bad idea. If a player manages to do enough damage or score enough with beacons to earn his Titan, then follow his lead and don't clip their wings, because you're not... And then it got cut off. But that is definitely opposite of my personal opinion, and I'm glad that you came on and you're sharing that opinion. And the way you worded it, I have no problem with them doing that, but they need to adjust what that requirement is to get the damn thing to begin with, because if it doesn't, there is no situation in this game that I could see it being a positive thing for the game to have Titans dropping 2 minutes into a match. There is nothing there's nothing. And nobody is a superstar, so much of a superstar that they can, actually do all of those things, because the fact is, right now, with Titans and the Titan bar, people are not actually doing good things to unlock their Titans. They are blowing through bots purposefully in order to unlock their Titan quickly. So they aren't actually doing good things. And they are also doing it in situations where it is just really crappy sportsmanship. You have guys with maxed out Titans going again, in duo squads, going against randoms, and they are just blowing through their first, second robot just to unlock their Ao Ming less than 2 minutes into a match, so that they can annihilate everybody on the field. That's just garbage gameplay, and that doesn't help the game at all, and that doesn't show skill. Now, if somebody was playing skillfully and it was a challenge to unlock the Titan bar, I would agree with your statement 100%. That's the way it should be. Unfortunately, that isn't how it is right now. And it isn't skill that's unlocking Titans in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to clip those wings real quick. The dropping of the Titan that early in the game kind of just takes away from the game all in all. Okay, I mean, yeah, you got a guy, and I'll be up there very, very soon. I'll have a maxed out Titan. I could have a maxed out Titan at this very moment if I chose to. Okay, but fighting a slow, drooly, droppy, 12 Big Mac eating Titan, there's no fun in it. Okay, for me, there's no fun in it. The battling out, the speed bots, the going back and forth, trading off, suppression, trading off flight, trading off this, that, in a battle is where the fun is at for me. So, I mean, I have no problem with the Titans dropping in the game. I have a problem with a Titan dropping in the game within the first 2 to 3 minutes. That's where it's at for me. So my recommendation to them, and will continue to be, is we need to, whatever changes you made to the Titan bar did not work, and they need to be exceeded no more. Now, if you have ridiculous amount of, not ridiculous amount, if you have a certain amount of progress to get that Titan bar, and you're still going 233 minutes because you're just kicking ass on the field, well, then you've earned it, okay? But it's just too easy to drop it to the Titans right now. That's my opinion. I don't like Titans in the game, but they are here, and I'll be joining the ranks and getting one. But I really have no intention of dropping my Titan in random gameplay, unless somebody else drops out a maxed out Titan on the other opposite side of the field. And I really don't want to be bringing my Titan 2 minutes into the game, to start that whole thing. All right, so that's just my opinion. I will continue to push for them to extend that Titan bar. Like it, don't like it, that's your opinion. I have mine. It is what it is. We all have our own. But I will use whatever influence I can to get that Titan bar extended just a little bit more.
No, but seriously, Joe, I was being sincere when I said I do appreciate you having a different opinion, even if I don't agree with it. Thanks for at least sharing your different opinion, different perspective. That's what this podcast is here for. You guys don't have to agree with what we say, but that goes the other way. We don't have to agree with what you say, but it is good for us to at least have somewhere to kind of air it out.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up, Cruz. Appreciate it, man.
All right, we'll go over a few more questions here, but we will look at starting to wind down the podcast. So if you guys...
What? It's already been an hour and a half.
Yeah, just about.
Jesus.
But
all right.
Yeah, if you guys have any other questions or anything you guys want to throw up there, definitely get them into the chat here, and we'll try and go over it.
And one more time, guys, before we go any further, don't forget, is it next weekend, Chief, or is it the weekend after that we're going to be doing the final giveaway?
Let me pull up my calendar real quick. Where are we at? Well, this is the 19th, and the 26th is next weekend, and that is the last Sunday of April, so it will be next Sunday.
All right, guys, keep in mind, next Sunday we are going to be giving the final giveaway, and it is going to be 50 from me, 50 from Chief. We will be giving away 100 atomizers on the next podcast. Make sure you're here. Make sure you tell some of your friends. If we were giving away the atomizers right now, everybody in this live chat would have received a free atomizer just for showing up and exchanging a few comments. So make sure you spread that around a little bit. We'll be looking forward to doing that giveaway next week, and I hope all of y'all win one. Now, keep in mind, some of y'all may have already won one on the other 2 giveaways, okay? So you would not be eligible to win a second one on the podcast giveaway. So make sure you tell your friends and buddies and your pals and your clan members to come on by next Sunday, so that way they get a chance to win one as well.
Well, nobody's won one for me yet because I haven't drawn any names. I'm not going to draw any names until I get all of them done. But yeah, I mean, we can only give away one per winner. So, between my 2 videos, Islanders 2 videos, and the podcast, that's 5 chances for you guys to win. And I'll tell you, if we get 100 people on the next podcast, then that's what it is.
Everybody wins one.
We're going to try and give them all away. So, but I'm sure some of you guys have already put your name in the hat for some of our other videos. So, best of luck to you guys on those. I know we've had a lot of people putting their name in the hat on those, and it's really cool to see. A lot of people are excited for the atomizer, and who isn't excited for getting some free stuff? 5 chances at least for you guys to win right there. So definitely let your friends know too, because I would love to see some more people showing up for the giveaway next week. Hey, what's up, Woody Wood?
There you go, Michael. Post it on that Discord. Those of y'all that have Discord and have your clan Discord, make sure you post this up so that way they have an opportunity to come in here and get one. All right, let's go down. I missed some of this chat, so let me scroll back up and see if I missed any questions while we're discussing that.
Is it Consanio? Said let them drop their Titan. Aljun with Avengers and Deathmark will do the job. But damn,
Yes,
Nerf
it
destroyed the
does.
legend. So I don't know.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? He's right about that, and I will agree with that. Death marking has definitely come uh, into the mix as far as heavy squad play or high level squad play, where at least everybody's got one death mark module in their hangar, and when the titans drop, it's very easy to see that guy light up red, bright red, blood red, deep crimson red. With so many death marks hitting them at the same time, where we're trying to get that titan out of the air. Now that's very different when you have the squad play, than when you do in going against randoms. Now if you're playing a squad play and you get in 2 minutes, hey, drop that bad boy. You know what? You're going against max hangers, max clans. I mean, max titans on the other side. My bigger problem that I have with the titans right now is when we go into squad duels and solos, and you got a bunch of guys that are low level, and you did take the time to upgrade your titan, and you did put the effort into it, and you do want to use it. I understand all that. My question is the timing of it, and we'll have different opinions, and we'll roll with that. But if you're doing it at high level and you will see a lot of death mark come out in clan play, especially on the titans.
With Titans, I don't think it would even be a discussion at this point as far as how soon somebody can drop them. If the modules weren't so OP. But when you have a Titan that's maxed out with maxed out weapons, maxed out modules that can literally 2 or 3 shot any robot in the game, and people are dropping that in 2 minutes into a match, just so they can rack up 4 or 5 million in damage and get a ton of silver, that's where the problem is. If they weren't as powerful because of those modules, I personally wouldn't care. If you want to waste your Titan 2 minutes into a match when it can actually be defeated by somebody, then so be it. But that's just not where we're at. As far as Deathmark, I'll tell you what, you might not be able to do it with the Avengers on an Aljun anymore, but Glacier Aljun with Deathmark is very effective, and I personally do not plan on taking mine out, even with the Aljun nerf coming in. I think it's still going to be a very good counter to Titans.
Yeah. Chief Islander, imagine a 99% off deal only for 5 minutes. I'll take it. Turbo Knight, from your lips to the pixelated God's ears, brother. If it ever came out. I don't foresee that happening, though.
Damn, Anthony, you already got 3 atomizers. Lucky you.
Anthony's a beast, man.
Lucky you. Yeah, atomizers are, man, it wasn't that long ago people were like questioning when I was saying that atomizers are going to be in the meta. Oh, come on. Yeah, of course they're going to be meta. Man,
yep.
They are insane.
Wait till you see the nucleons, boys. Sheesh. I, for one, will be running for the hills.
Yeah, once we can get full sets of the energy machine guns, man. Oh, man, this game is gonna be a little different. I mean, not necessarily in a bad way, because I mean they're strong, but they're not like the most OP weapon we've seen in the game. So
no, you have. I mean, I got my 4 now on my leech, and it's so easy just to keep your finger on the fire button, and just blow through everything. But if you're not firing that thing in control bursts, you're not going to score very many hits. All right, once that weapon overheats, those rounds go everywhere. And if you're not at point blank range, you just plan on not hitting anything. So it's all about controlling the temperature of the weapon.
See, real quick here, Nad Remar saying it's painfully slow saving the AG necessary to upgrade anything. He hasn't dropped a dime lately, mostly because he's had so many run-ins with squads. Seriously leveled up and smoking him out of the game. I'm not sure what platform you're playing on, but you know, it kind of dawned on me when another YouTuber, I think today or yesterday, was mentioning that they've seen an increase in, you know, matchmaker dropping them against squads, whereas me on iOS, man, it's so rare that I actually drop in against squads now. I'm loving it. It's like it's so different for me now. Previously on iOS, I would hit a squad 3-4 times a day. Now, maybe once a week at most.
Yeah, when I'm running solo, I rarely hit a squad. I think I've hit one in the last week. And that was a bunch of my friends over from one of the clans. I can't remember the name. I went blank right now. But you know, that was the only one all week long. And we were running duels the other day. I think we ran into one squad. You know, Jaeger Nation. I'm sorry. There you go. I ran into my boys from Jaeger Nation, and they were all in the squad. And I'm sure they just had a fun time singling me out. But that's part of the game. And you know, I don't see it now. When we're running 3 or more, you're gonna get squads.
Oh yeah, that's guaranteed.
You know, that's a guarantee. But as far as going solo, I'm not quite sure. I would agree with that lately. Okay, before I would be in 100% agreement with you, where you not constantly, but very frequently would run into a full squad. But not as of late. Things have changed up ever since the merger, and that is a good thing. But if you're having problems where you're still constantly, and I mean, we're not going to say you're not telling us the truth, of course not. But if you're having that problem where you're running into full squads regularly, well, then just jump over to free for all, my man. You'll find it a lot more, maybe to your liking, and your payout will be a lot higher in silver than you will get in any other match.
That is the positive side of free for all. You cannot go against a squad. So. And actually, another benefit to free for all is, I mean, even though some of the players there do have some pretty maxed out stuff, and it's tough to go against them, but it's good practice, you know, to learn how to deal with somebody that might be stronger than you. And it might take a little bit of time for you to get that practice and that skill level up, but also it is a little more rewarding because the top 3 category or the top 3 positions is counted as a win as far as the game is concerned. So that's very different than the other modes.
You know, and of course, everybody complains about stealing kills and stuff like that. Everybody's going to steal your kill. You're going to attempt to steal everybody else's kill. That's just part of that particular game. Now, I can tell you where I've been seeing lower level players, and they've mastered this art of stealing kills, where they're just hanging out in the background. You can just see them on the other side when you're battling out with somebody. It's like, man, I need to save some ammo for the ending of this match. I'm actually kind of cautious about putting somebody in the last stand, because I know that once I put that person in the last stand, that out dude's going to fly up right over the top with a full salvo of rockets and attempt to steal that kill. So lower level people are learning how to compete with the higher level people and said, I don't got to take you on one-on-one and beat you. I just got to come in and steal your peanut butter, and I'll beat you in the end of the match. And it does happen, you know, not very much for me, because I've come to refine my skills as to not getting my kills stolen as often, but it does happen. And they are finishing in the top 3. And when you go look at all the player ranks or the players, the final tally, you know, you got these lower level players on top of these maxed out players, simply because they were patient and tactical about how they were approaching the game. So you can do the same. You really, really can. You can compete with a higher level guy in free for all if you just learn your tactics.
Right. John Castle, this will probably be the last comment, just real quick, but I wanted to address this because it's a good point that he brings up. He says, what about the request to test Nodens in BR accounts at different levels, so most of the player base have a clear perspective at what they would be getting? And that's really good question. Now, as far as Titans go, on the BR account specifically, they don't give us the Titan, and it's not maxed out. Usually the weapons and the robots, when they give them to us, they are already maxed out. But Titans are a little bit different. So when Nodin gets released, I would have to buy the Titan on the BattleRec account, just like anybody else. Of course, they just give me a whole ton of platinum. But I will try and make it a point to make some content with a low level Nodens, and then maybe a middle level Nodens, and then a maxed out Nodens, just to give you guys a little bit more variety, so you can kind of get like you said, get more of an idea of what you're going to be getting. But
yeah, and that would be the only way, as Chief telling you, that's the only way to do it, because we have one person over there that handles all the requests for all of the YouTubers that have the BattleRec accounts, and it's not just a few here in the United States, or not the ones that you mainly see. They're all over the place, and there's only one person that handles all those requests, and it is generally a big portion of her job. It requires a lot of time for her. So for us to go and put in there specific requests like that would be very time restraining on their part. So I think it'd be easier the way Chief said, and I'm glad Chief said he's willing to do that. That's awesome, Chief. Thumbs up.
All right, but I think that is going to wrap it up for us, everybody. Once again, I appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out with us. I appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts, your questions, everything with us. It's best part of my week is doing these podcasts here with you guys. Definitely on your way out the door, don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Make sure you guys swing by Islander's channel. If you haven't yet, subscribe and hit up those giveaway videos he has on his channel, as well as the ones that I have on mine. And wish y'all best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you guys next Sunday for the atomizer giveaway right here, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. And that's gonna do it for me. Chief out. You gonna say goodbye, Islander?
Oh,
I wasn't gonna cut you off, man.
Yeah, guys. Hey, we do this every Sunday. It's not about me. It's not about Chief. It's all about you guys to come over here and show the love. We love exchanging, conversations and opinions with you guys. Don't take it personal if we disagree or agree with you guys. It's not about that. All right, we all have different opinions in this game. We love the fact that you take your time every Sunday to come and hang out with us. So thumbs up to you guys. Look forward to seeing you next week. Do not forget that we are doing that final giveaway. So make sure that you go into your Discords and your message box and share with your friends and your clanmates that we are doing this giveaway. That way everybody has a chance to come in here and get something. The next time, guys, this is Islander. I'm out.